which I did not know that there were different modes of writing sentences, so that was kind of cool. I definitely knew that there were different like sentence fragments, and run-ons, but I thought it was cool to learn about the different sentence types. That's what they're called, sentence types, especially. So yeah, so this one was pretty cool. And that is all the handout. So now I'm going to be talking about all the activity pages from the semester. The first couple of pages are just over vocab that we did, and which was showing us how to better understand what we were going to be writing our lessons over like affixes and semantics and graphemes, phonemes, understanding all different parts of vowels. These ones I really enjoyed because this one I liked talking about like what children can explore, like asking open-ended and closed questions, going over letter shapes and names. That was interesting. And then like the blending, I really enjoyed blending, doing the phonemic awareness activities, because I was also in 473 this semester, and I had my student who was actually struggling with deleting sounds of words and phonemic awareness, so that helped me to get extra practice for helping him during our lesson meeting times. These are all phoneme numbers. These were interesting too because some of them had more phonemes than letters. Like for instance, knowledge has like 9 letters, but only 5 phonemes, just because the letters come together to make one sound in certain words. Figuring out what was voiced, clipped and blocked, voiced, unvoiced. A lot of those were pretty interesting to just kind of reconnect with what we grew up knowing in elementary school, versus what teachers just knew how to teach us. Those weren't required. Here's the next ones. Okay, reading patterns, went over that, and different ways how to say different letters and words. Again, more graphemes and letters. Vowel pairs, I liked doing this too, just because like when we were going over syllables and syllable patterns, we had vowel pairs as one of them. So like paint has A and I, which are 2 vowels. Sometimes vowels are at the beginning, sometimes they're in the middle. And there's the syllable types, sorting syllable types, closed, open vowel pairs. Opened and closed took a while for me to get the hang of, just because some of the ones I would get kind of confused on. And then we have all these over here, the vowel pairs, controlled R, vowel consonant E, the LEs, yes, the consonant LE or final stable. Generating, just going over different ones. Syllable division patterns, yeah. These vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel, vowel pair, vowel, consonant, vowel, and it was just dependent on where the other vowel and consonant were. When to divide, obviously like ones like this, you would have party or market. You wouldn't do like mar, or like you would have mark it, or like market, stubborn, local, ribbon. Like you wouldn't break it any other way, or else it wouldn't make sense. And that's where the syllable patterns come into play as well. They teach you where to make that break in the word. Terms for decoding. vowel consonants, inflectional endings. This one seems, has that z sound versus, and so does lands, but then jumps. You can hear the S instead of the Z sound, even though they're all S's. Inflectional and suffixes and endings. Irregular words. Irregular and regular words, that was something that was very kind of a complicated concept for me, that I eventually got, just with the different word origins coming into play as well. Consonant phonemes, partial, spelling rules. That was one that I thought was pretty interesting. I did the doubling rule, so I talked about that in my handouts, just how, like, when certain endings are added, sometimes you have more, like happiness. Well, happiness, happy has 2 P's, but just different ones like that. Let's see, I think it's on the next page. Oh yes, like omit. Omitted has 2 T's because it's omit, and when the ED is added, it's a doubling. You can see doubling again in beginning, where it's begin, and then with the ing, it adds another N. Here's some examples of adding words together. So like childish, camper, let's see if there's one. Starring would have 2 R's. Runner would have another N. That's more doubling examples. Regular rules for spelling. Handwriting in cursive. Actually, would be interested to know if they're still teaching handwriting, like cursive, in school, because I know that it is kind of not as popular anymore. Prosody, decoding and fluency, blending, irregular words, all that stuff. Morphemes, endings, so origin, like we talked about in the lesson plans and in the handouts. It can be of Latin origin, Greek, or Anglo-Saxon. Let's see. Yeah, identifying. So in these were where we identified reject is a Latin word, napkin, Anglo-Saxon, conduct, because it has the duct ending. Chloroplast is a Greek word. Chloro. What else? Phonograph has graph or phonome, which are 2 broken up. Semantic word webs. This one we did in one of our last lesson plans, which was more lengthy, but it was interesting filling out the different charts, talking about syllables and morphemes. Yeah, so like in this, the derivative web, we took a word, put it in different parts where it's seen, where the ending is seen. So like in was the part that we used for the derivative, so it was like induce, inject, subject, reject, intro, introduce, and then like run, multiple meaning words. We had run means to enter, to flow, to go fast, to pass quickly, to flee, and to escape. And here's some examples of doing those word profiles. Tiers of vocab, precision of vocab, so just going through different words. And this was pretty cool to get to take definitions and break them down into more student friendly, because I find myself having to do that pretty often, especially since I will be teaching elementary students are more susceptible to understanding things that are put into their words more than textbook definitions, that they won't really understand all the words. And I think that was it. I'm going to be doing the final part of my review. This is the sound check. So I'm just going to be going through the list of words that are on the sheet, starting with apron, A, equal, E, iris, I, opener, O, unicorn, U, star, R, fern, fork, or, book, moon, saucer, oil, oi, out, ow, itch, echo, apple, octopus, umbrella, bat, dog, fish, goat, house, jam, kite, box, queen, leaf, mitten, nest, pig, sock, table, valentine, wagon, yarn, zipper, chair, ship, king, mother, and then we have thimble, whistle,